Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching the Book Tracking. In today's video, I'm bringing to you some quick read book recommendations. Do keep in mind that quick reads don't mean that they are short books. Short reads and quick reads are totally different things for me. Sometimes I take a whole month to read a book which is just 100 or 200 pages long, and sometimes I read a 500 page book in just 1 or 2 days. It depends upon whether the book is a quick read or not. And let's just get into the list. The first book that I'm recommending today is one of my most favorites from 2020, and it is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. Now, this is a book that's written in verse. It deals with the story of two girls named Camino and Yahaira. Camino is a girl who lives in the Dominican Republic, and Yahaira is a girl who lives in New York. Now, the common thing for Camino and Yahaira is that they have a common father, but their mothers are different. Now, this father is a person who's not talked about his other life to both his daughters, but both the wives know that there is another family for this man who reside in different parts of the world. What happens is, in the beginning of the book, the girl's father, he travels from New York to the Dominican Republic in order to meet Yahaira, and Camino, and what happens is his flight crashes and he dies. Due to this, a lot of things happen, and both the girls get to know that they have a half sibling living in another part of the world, and they also understand that that is the only person in the world who can understand the things that they are put through in this particular segment of their life. They both meet for the funeral ceremony of their father in the Dominican Republic, and a really good sibling relationship forms between these two girls. It's really awesome, especially the writing of Elizabeth Acevedo, as I've said like million times in my channel. It's really beautiful, and I'm definitely sure that I'm going to read every other book that she puts out there. And this is a quick read because it's written in verse, and I ended up reading this in just 3 or 4 hours. The next book that I'm recommending today is Everything by Nicola Yoon. Now, this book deals with the story of a girl named Madeline who's allergic to literally everything in the world. What happens is that she has to live in this quarantine that is her home itself, just the way that we all are living for quite a few months right now. The thing about Madeline is that anything that's that's even slightly different from her normal atmosphere, when it comes in contact with her, it causes a really lot of things that trigger her immune system, and her heart rate increases, and many medical difficulties happen to her if she comes in contact with something that is out of her quarantine. So, and what happens is there's this family which comes into the house that's near Madeline's house, and there's this boy named Oliver there. They two start having a conversation through text messages and emails, and the reason why this book is a really quick read is because it's not written in a normal format. It has like multiple formats put into it. The story is not just told through paragraphs or verses as you saw in Clap When You Land. Here the story is told through emails, text messages, letters, and many other things like that. There are also certain excerpts from other books which the main character reads in this one, and it's a really fun read. It's also emotional at many instances, but I'm sure that you can read this very quickly. The next book is Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. Now, this is the second book in the DC Icons series, but the special thing about this series is that you can read all the books in the series in any order because they stand alone. There's no interlinking story between the 4 books in the series. The first book is about Wonder Woman, the second one is about Batman, the third one is about Catwoman, and the fourth one is about Superman. That's the only book that I've not read in the series until now, but I should say that this is my most favorite of all the 4 books in the series, mainly because it's very fast paced. It is short, but the font is really tiny inside. I'm sure that you can fly through this book easily. Marie Lu has this very digestible kind of writing in which you can just easily read through her text and understand what she's trying to say. Also, her prose is also very beautiful. This is actually a reimagining of the origin story of Batman and how his life used to be while putting Batman in the place of a 17-year-old boy. Okay, he's a young adult, not an adult yet, and he has these 2 friends who are very important for him in his high school life. This happens during the last few days of his high school life, and it's really good. Major portions of the book happen within Arkham Asylum itself. The reason why Batman, that is Bruce Wayne, is made to get into Arkham Asylum is a thing which you'll have to read and understand, and I'm sure that it is a really thrilling as well as quick read. Next is another book which was one of my most favorites from 2020, and it is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. I've read this book not even a month back, but I've recommended this more than 5 or 6 times in my videos by now itself, and I'm sure that I'll recommend this for many more times in the future. This is an illustrated book, so try to grab a physical copy of the book if it's possible. I don't want it because it's a bit expensive for me right now, but I'll definitely buy it sometime in the future. It's available only in hardcover. I found this as an audiobook in Storytel, and there's no particular thing that happens in this book. Okay, it's a children's book, and I'm sure that it must be read by each and every person in the world, because each and everything that the author talks about, they just make you feel so good. They give you confidence, they give you hope. At the same time, you can just read it very, very quickly. Even if you read it very, very, very slowly, I'm sure that you can finish this book within like 1 hour max. Okay, it's just so beautiful, and I'm definitely sure that everyone needs to read this book. One of the reasons why I'm recommending this here is mainly because I listened to it and I suggested it to my brother, and he listened to it the very same night, and the next morning he said that he was very, very happy that he listened to that book by the end of 2020 itself. And this year and this month being the first month of the year, I'm sure that everyone needs a lot of hope in order to get past and get through this year. So please do try and listen to this book or read this book, because it's very, very inspirational and hope giving in many, many ways. Okay, now jumping from such a hope-giving book to something which is very, very suspenseful. It is a psychological thriller, and I'm talking about My Sister, the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. I read this during last summer, and it is a very, very, very short book, guys. It's an audiobook which runs for not over 3 hours, so I finished this within like 1.5 hours or 2 hours. It's really, really good in that way. It's a very quick read. A thriller being such a short book and a quick read is totally different for me, and this was a book which I DNF'd when I read it for the first time, and I just flew through it for the second time because it was very, very interesting. This deals with the story of 2 sisters, in which the younger one is a serial killer and the elder sister just covers up her murders for her. The younger one is like a person who is kind of a glue for the family, but the elder one is one that's put into a lot of strife, just as we see in many, many stories. Also, the story has an abusive father and a supportive mother. All these things, when combined together, make it a very quick and digestible read, yet a very, very thrilling one. The next one is an adult romance. I'm sure that you can read this in summer, because it's a summer book rather than suitable for any other time of the year, and I'm talking about The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I read this one also last summer, and I just enjoyed reading it the whole time. Okay, the concept of this book is that we have a bride and groom. The book actually starts at a wedding, and what happens is something goes wrong with the food that's served in the wedding, and everyone except 2 people end up eating it and have food poisoning. The 2 people who didn't eat it are the sister of the bride and the brother of the groom. So what happens is the bride and groom, they are not able to go on their honeymoon, so they set up their brother and sister to go on the honeymoon instead of them, because there's no refund for the money that they've paid in order to take the trip for the honeymoon, and they go together as not a couple and end up being a couple towards the end. That's why the title Unhoneymooners. It is really, really fun to read for 3/4 of the time, and the last chunk of the book alone becomes a bit sad, but I'm not sure that it is a kind of sadness which will put you into depression or make you cry or anything. It's just a normal kind of sadness that we can see in many, many stories, but it's very, very fun to read throughout the time, and you can definitely read it very, very quickly. The next one in the list is Nevernight by Kristoff. Now, this is the first book in a grimdark adult fantasy trilogy, and I've not finished this yet. I'm being honest with you guys. 3/4 of the book is done, and I'm sure that I'll finish it by tonight. The thing about this one is that it has the premise of a 16-year-old girl named Mia, and she is trained to be an assassin in order to kill her family's killers. It's very, very much good. Okay, I'll not say that it's cozy or anything. It's grimdark adult fantasy, but I should say this is the most fast-paced adult book that I've ever read until now in my life, and I'm just enjoying it throughout. I'll not say it's cozy. I'm not sure if it will be for everyone, but this is my jam. Okay, I'm just enjoying it. That's one of the main reasons why I'm recommending it even before finishing it, because I'm sure that I'll end up liking this no matter what, because I don't think it can go wrong in any way with just the 150 pages or something that's left of the story, and I'm very much excited to finish this. So do try reading Nevernight, because it's very much fun, and not fun. It's very, very good and very, very brutal and violent, yet very, very fast paced and quick to read. The last books that I want to recommend in this video are a trilogy, and it is The Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare. I've recommended this like a million times in my channel already. The third book, which is Clockwork Princess, it's my most favorite, number 1 book which I read in 2020, and it was just so satisfying, and it's a perfect book if you ask me in many ways. The reason why I'm recommending all these 3 books is because they are huge books. Okay, the first one is the only one which is under 500 pages. Both of these are 500 plus page books, and I'm sure that I've read them very quickly, and I just enjoyed reading them the whole time. It's essentially just a love triangle, but there are many other things going on between the characters despite just the love triangles and the friendships that they form. If you want to read a love triangle and not end up hating anyone in the triangle, and I'm sure that you have to read this trilogy, and please, you will thank Cassandra Clare for having written this one. I'm sure that I like the characters in the Mortal Instruments more than the characters from the Infernal Devices, but this love triangle, I just ship them like hell, and I just love all the 3 main characters here. Okay guys, that's all for today, and if you do have any other quick read recommendations, please don't feel shy to leave them in the comments. I'd like to know them and read them in the future. And if you did enjoy watching today's video and found it helpful in any way, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel because I publish new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.